Since the birth of the music industry, a debate has raged on. What's the best way to listen to music? Is it the old analog way of record players and cassettes? Or is it the new digital streaming way of Apple Music and Spotify? We're going to answer that question today, but first let's start off with two demonstrations. Number one, here's how you would listen to Led Zeppelin's When the Levee Breaks in 1971. You take the album out of the sleeve, being careful to hold it by the edges. You turn on the amplifier. You'd walk over to the turntable, take the record, put it on a platter, turn it on, and drag the needle to where the song begins. All right, great. Now here's how you would listen to music, specifically Led Zeppelin's When the Levee Breaks in 2020. After watching those two demonstrations, what would you choose? The old analog way, that's tedious and time-consuming, or the new digital way, that's quick and easy? Well, if you're anything like me, you would choose the analog way, and I'm here to tell you why. First, let's talk a little bit about the history of recorded sound. When Thomas Edison invented the phonograph in 1877, for the very first time, we could store music and reproduce it later. This was crazy because before that, if you wanted to listen to music, you had to go to the symphony hall and listen to it live. But with the LP, that became the dominant musical format of the 20th century, according to the Wall Street Journal, and it kicked off blues, rock and roll, and country. Further advancements were made, like the CD in 1982, and that changed the way we listen to music because instead of music being encrypted in the microscopic vibrations of a needle, it was recorded in ones and zeros and stored on a computer. And as time went on, music got more compact, from the MP3 and the iPod to streaming services like Apple Music and Spotify, where there isn't even a physical medium, it's just in the air. So I know what you're thinking. After all this time and progression and innovation, why is vinyl making a comeback? According to Nielsen, vinyl album sales in the US have grown a whopping 260% since 2009, and that figure is steadily rising. Why are people turning to analog? Well, it has to do with the musical appreciation that vinyl gives, that Spotify doesn't. With an LP, you have to listen to it cover to cover. You can't shuffle around or skip or rewind or anything like that. You got to listen to it as the artist intended. According to the BBC, the mid-1960s to the late 1970s was the golden era of the concept album, where albums stopped being collections of singles and they had a whole theme revolving around them. It's no coincidence that vinyl as the predominant format corresponds with the peak of the music industry. Also, with the record player, you can focus a lot more on the album's packaging, on the inserts and the gatefold designs, something that you can't appreciate with the pixels on a phone screen. Also, with a record player, music is in the foreground, it's not in the background. I can't take this with me to the car or do my chores while I'm listening to this in the background. If I'm going to turn on my record player, I have to make a conscious effort to listen to music. And that's something that puts music with a lot more respect than you would get on a streaming service. But I know what you're saying. Isn't digital music a lot more practical? Well, yes, vinyl is kind of high maintenance, but I would argue that it's that same high maintenance that causes you to care more about the music and respect it more. And yes, vinyl is a little more expensive than streaming for a couple bucks a month. But with streaming, we've lost a sense of ownership of the music because now we're renting it. And we lost that sense of accomplishment over our record collections or getting all our parts together. But let's talk about the true test, audio quality, which is better. Well, some say that vinyl has a unique warm sound to it. That's because compression does not happen on vinyl. See, with digital media, we have to eliminate the high and low extreme frequencies to reduce the file size. However, we don't need to do this on analog. According to Evan Combs, music educator and my former mentor, professionals value all the frequencies. There's a reason Peabody's recording department has a giant sign on the front door that says no MP3s allowed, because that file type is compressed. Also, it really doesn't matter how you're listening to it. What matters is the speakers you have. According to BuzzFeed, the untrained ear can't discern the difference between analog and digital. Most sound differences depend on the quality of your speakers. So, to recap, digital music has its merits. It's affordable, convenient, and portable. But if you want to own, appreciate, and fall in love with the music, you should listen to vinyl. After all, this is where we would be if vinyl records never existed. Thanks for watching.